Hello, Days of Our Lives fans. It is finally Friday, January the 17th. Please like, subscribe, and share. I didn't do a video yesterday because I was at the doctor all day long. I still may do one. This is Holly. She's given the money to Dougie, and she wants to come with him to meet these people. And he's like, no way, you're not coming. And if you try to come with me, I just won't go. Then they will beat me up, basically. He's using a little psychology on her, but she's determined, and she follows him and ends up going off on this guy, and he's worried he's just going to put a bullet in her or something. But he said, yeah, girlfriend's got a pretty big mouth or something, and he said, well, she's not my girlfriend. He's clearing that up right away. It may be for safety for her. Well, they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. Meanwhile, Kristen comes busting in on Brady and Ava's movie night date, and she's looking for Rachel, and she tells Brady if he doesn't have her, she is missing. She is just beside herself, like any parent would be if your daughter was missing. Ava's there, and she ends up snapping on Ava when Ava's trying to help. And she said, this is your fault if you would have just stayed away from her dad. She hates you so much she ran away from home. Kristen's wrong about this. She's just not doing what her mother taught her to do. So Kristen ought to be looking in the mirror instead of blaming Ava. But they are desperately trying to find Rachel, and they're all fighting, and Marlena comes in and busts it up, and we don't see any more of that situation for today. Good grief. Rachel's always missing. She's smart, though. Leo and Marlena are supposed to be having lunch, just a friendly lunch. I love their friendship. And they run into Javi Javi Hip Hoppy and Kerry Wary. And he invites them to lunch because he's trying to trip them up. He's done told Marlena about the Rochester jacket. Well, Leo said something about it before they sat down for lunch, how he liked it and everything. And he said, oh, yeah, well, Kerry gave it to me. And he said, Kerry gave it to you. And Kerry's like, yeah, I grew up there. Why? So Leo gives a little spoiler that he's going to make one of the characters into a devil and be possessed by the devil. And he says, now it's under wraps, so don't y'all tell nobody. And then after they leave, Kerry and Javi Javi Hip Hoppy, Marlena and Leo sat at the table waiting for Whistleblower to post it, and he did, about the devil possession. So, that's all the proof they need. They already had enough proof. Javi Javi Hip Hoppy finally decided to sleep with Kerry, the most attractive Kerry, and Leo busts in and says, I'm here to bust the whistleblower once and for all. And they're just looking at him, so we'll see how that goes. That's actually how the show went off today. But earlier, Sophia had a doctor's appointment. She changed it. She called Tate and told him that the doctor changed the appointment or whatever. But when he got there, she told him she lied. She just moved it up because she didn't want her mom to be there breathing down her neck. And Tate's like, well, that's okay. That's not a big deal. A big thing to lie about. I understand. And she was like, I'm already nervous enough. I don't need my mom here, trying to run the show. And he said, sure, I understand. So Kayla introduced herself and sent her back to get prepared in the room. And she's talking to Tate, and he's like, Aunt Kayla, I messed things up so bad. And she's like, how's Holly doing? He said, well, she's got a new friend, and she's crying on his shoulder. And Kayla says, I'm sure she needs that shoulder. And he said, I don't know how long she's going to put up with it before she breaks up with me. I've messed everything up for all of us. And she tells him to quit being so hard on himself. So they're doing the sonogram here, and Tate is holding her hand at some point. And they're looking at the little heartbeat and stuff, and they're kind of bonding there, which you can't help, but I've seen guys that don't make no difference. Holly comes up when they're looking at their picture later and says, what's that? She said, it's just a picture of the baby. You don't have to look at it. And Tate said, no, don't look at it, Holly. And she looked at it and said, wow, that's a real baby. And she looked at Tate and said, your baby. And he looked back at her. Holly is just heartbroken. She kind of caused this herself, but still, that's a wrap.